It's springtime and it's the perfect time of year to make delicious cookies. I was talking to my friend Jerry the other day and she gave me a great cookie recipe to try, so I want to share it with you. It'll be great to make all your Easter cookies like these guys that I show in my kids' book, or lollipop cookies, butterfly cookies. It's great. So let me show you how to do it. I'm Elisa Strauss and we're mixing it up in the kitchen today. Let me show you all the ingredients. All the amounts are listed down below, and I like to start with everything at room temperature. So here I'm using unsalted butter, some eggs with vanilla extract. I've already mixed them together. This is just whole milk, granulated sugar, and here I've already combined all-purpose flour, cake flour, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. Now I'm going to mix it all together and I'll show you what to do. The first two ingredients I'm going to cream together the butter and sugar. So it's nice and soft, so I'm just going to get them all in there. I kind of break up the butter just to make it a little bit easier on my mixing bowl. So I'll start the butter creaming and then I'm going to gradually add in the sugar. Alright, so I just scrape it down, make sure that it's all incorporated, and then I'm going to add my egg and vanilla one at a time. And I never like to overmix my ingredients, so I mix it to the point where everything's just combined. I scrape it down, make sure there's no extra residue. And now I'm going to just alternate the milk or the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients. It just makes for the nicest texture and creaminess. So I start with the dry mixture, because as you can see, I have a lot more dry than wet. And then I'll end with the dry as well. Don't forget to scrape. It's really important to incorporate all of the ingredients while they're still mixing. All right, so the dough is just coming together. I'm not overmixing it. The last of the flour has been incorporated. So I'm going to now take it off my mixer and I'm going to roll it out. So what I usually do is I'll take one of the pieces of parchment, and this is about 13 by 18 or a half of a large parchment piece of paper. You can also use wax paper if you don't have parchment. And I'm just going to dump all the dough out and get it all together. There may be a few bits of flour left at the bottom of the bowl, and so you can incorporate that in at this point. So now I have a blob and I'm going to use my hands. If you have hot hands, go ahead and just use the parchment paper and make it into a ball. I usually use a combination of my hands and the parchment. And then I usually form it into kind of like a square. And if you have a bench scraper or a knife or even just my spatula I could use, I divide it into 4 pieces. And they're about even. It doesn't have to be perfect. And so I'm going to take my first piece and roll it out in between 2 layers of parchment. So I form my cookie dough into about like a square. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just makes it a little bit easier when rolling out. And I put my second piece on top. You'll notice I'm using a straight rolling pin, and here I have these handy rubber bands. I actually got them on Amazon.com. I'll put the link below, but it comes in a package. It has about 4 or 5 different sizes. This is about 1/8 of an inch, and that's the size that I want my cookie dough rolled. And so the rubber bands just keep you nice and even throughout. So I start gradually by just rolling it one way and then the other way. And I just keep moving my dough. And the other beauty about the parchment paper is that if my dough gets out of shape, what you can do is take the parchment paper, turn it the other way, flip it over, and then again, you don't ever lose the shape that you're going for. The dough is completely reversible. And so what I do is I roll out all 4 sheets, and then I go ahead and freeze it so that it's nice and level, and then I go ahead and just cut out all my cookies. I freeze them again to keep their perfect shape, and then I have lots of cookies to decorate or just eat on its own. All right, so I have my first piece rolled out. It's nice and level. I'm going to do the rest, and I'm going to stick them all into the freezer. So all my cookie dough is rolled out in between layers of parchment paper. I went ahead and wrapped it double in plastic wrap, and I can stick it in the freezer and fridge, and it's ready to use whenever I'm ready. Remember, all the ingredients for this recipe are listed down below, and don't forget to check out our channel next week, and I'll show you how to make royal icing to decorate these delicious cookies. I'm Elisa Strauss, and we're mixing it up in the kitchen today.